I'm not saying he should win Heisman, but I am saying Arch is good, Sayin is better. Julian Sayin is playing better football than Arch Manning right now. Period.
All right, should he go to New York? You're not saying he should win it. Should he be invited to New York?
Oh, absolutely. And we'll get to the Heisman in a minute. And he's the odds-on favorite right now by FanDuel.
Sayin is?
But yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. That is interesting. I didn't see that. You didn't tell me that.
We'll get to the Heisman. But the most important thing is this, and we'll get to the Heisman and kind of have that discussion at the end of this. The most important thing probably the most important thing the conclusion that I came to on Sunday watching tape. Again, I'm not saying he's going to win the Heisman or should win the Heisman, but I am saying that Arch is really good. Julian's better.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
Julian's better than Arch, and I'm not here for any debate on that. And listen, I got news for you. At one point in time, Drew Henson in the coaching staff's mind was as good as Tom Brady. Brian Griese was better than Tom Brady. Drew Bledsoe was better than Tom Brady. Eventually, Tom Brady became the best to ever do it. So just because Julian's better than Arch right now doesn't mean that that's how it's always going to be. But it's my job to go watch the tape and report what I'm seeing. The tape tells me what the facts and the truths are. And tape truth number 3 is that Julian is playing better ball than Arch. And if you were to give me one game, one player, one quarterback for the biggest game of the year and said you can choose between Sayin and Manning, I'm taking Julian. This tape was, it's not just this. I begged people, buy his stock now a couple weeks ago. And it was even better this past week. And I get it, Penn State. They've lost 5 straight. They're falling apart. It's not what we expected. Who cares what? But this is Penn State with a lot of talent. And this is the final punch that this program was going to throw. And it's a defensive coordinator that understands, well, it's not Chip Kelly, what Ryan Day wants to do and what Brian Hartline wants to do and a lot of those tendencies. And they were prepared to play, and I didn't see any lack of effort.
I was going to ask you. I'm glad you're saying that because I'm glad you're saying that.
I didn't. I saw a system, and I want to give a lot of credit to 2 places. Both the coaching staff and the offensive lines for Texas and Ohio State. Arch had more protection in this past game than I've seen all season. Julian Sayin, I don't want to say more than any other game, but Julian Sayin's protection against that defensive front and with Jim Knowles knowing kind of how to get pressure on the quarterback and to do it against this offensive scheme, I thought they were outstanding. Awesome. Both quarterbacks had to maneuver around, and there were times, but for the most part in college football, to have that kind of protection, you don't see it very often against.
Right, it's never 100% clean. It's never 100% clean.
Vandy's gotten pressure on quarterbacks. I'm not saying they have any first-round draft picks along the defensive line. They don't.
Right,
but they've got some players and they've gotten pressure. Penn State's got better talent up front. They've got players. They've gotten pressure. And both of these offensive fronts and both of the coaching staffs did amazing jobs this past weekend. But back to Sayin. This guy, man, to see what he was, this should be a coaching clinic. And granted, Ohio State has luxuries because of its defense, because of its talent, because of its weapons that most other programs are not afforded. So to do this at another program, the way that Ryan Day and Brian Hartline slowly brought this young quarterback along, responsibilities, pass run ratio, different things that he was asked to do in terms of his pre-snap, post-snap, his reads. You have seen almost on a weekly basis this ascension in the responsibilities handed to Julian Sayin. So that now here we are in the back half of the season, and we're to a point where I'm not saying he has the key to the entire palace, but he's allowed to enter most rooms, okay? And I'm seeing a quarterback who has a complete understanding of what they're trying to do, where his eyes should go. And in doing that, he's gaining confidence every week. And yeah, nobody else in the country has 2 first-round receivers like Ohio State does. And the level of, because we all know Jeremiah Smith's going to be a top 10 pick at worst, probably a top 5 overall pick. And we're watching Carnell Tate grow up in front of our eyes. He's become an absolute weapon because of the attention to detail and the route running skills that he has. But here are my notes. You ready? Drilling the ball with confidence, ball hitting spots, on time out route to his left to Jeremiah Smith, like NFL style throw, isolating Smith and getting the ball out on time. And by the way, Ryan Day and Heartline, like I love what they whether it's bunches formation or motioning pre-snap 3 guys to 1 right before, so the ball snapped and all of a sudden it's like shit. We game planned all week so that we wouldn't allow Jeremiah Smith to be man to man. And here we are, you know? And so they're doing a lot of stuff pre-snap that's creating these matchup advantages for them because of their personnel. But then I saw plays with Julian extending and doing it like under control with poise and not rushing, not getting hurried, not making young quarterback mistakes. It's just everything's done with confidence. Trajectory and catchable ball. That's the thing. Like, yeah, it's great to have Carnell Tate run that post to seam where he just snaps off the route and gets the safety turned around and gets 5 yards. But if he overthrows it or if he doesn't throw it with a trajectory, it allows the defensive back to get in the play or it prevents Tate from tracking it down. He's throwing a catchable ball down the field where his receivers who are great can go up and utilize that greatness. And that shouldn't be overlooked. So while they're so special, no one's taking anything away from 4 and 17. Those dudes are they are the real deal. But somebody's got to get them the ball and give them opportunities to go make those plays to showcase their greatness. And he's doing it. There's even more tempo and decisiveness in what Julian's doing than what I'm seeing from Arch. Arch looked really good. Looked really good, man. And I just told you all the reasons in Tape Truth too, why I really like where Arch is right now. This guy's doing it with a little bit more and it just looks better. It's cleaner, it's crisper, it's more confident. The ball's coming out a little bit better. The ball's being drilled into spots a little bit more precisely. Everything he's doing, while Arch is doing it really well, Julian's doing it better.
So why isn't Sayin the Heisman winner? Why is he not the guy right now?
I'm not saying that he shouldn't be, and absolutely in the conversation, but I'm also saying let's keep. I'm always a pushback guy on it's got to be the quarterback from the best team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is the best defense in college football, and this is starting to shape up to be one of those defenses where we put it in the conversation. I've mentioned it before. Like USC in the early 2000s, Miami back in 2001, Alabama in the 2011, that kind of early 2010s range, Georgia in the 2019, that
2020 maybe 2019, yeah,
that range, right? Yep. It's shaping up to be that level of defense. So he's got that working for him. He does. So you
would give a Haynes King a nod because he means more to his team.
That's yeah, and again, and I think we have that. So it's Julian Sayin right now. This is FanDuel, always trusty.
No Haynes King.
Keep the lights on for it. Well, Haynes King's coming off that loss.
I know.
But this is the top 5, and I was surprised at it. No Haynes King, no Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame.
Right.
There are other guys that you can argue, but these are the odds-on favorites. Julian Sayin, plus 175. Fernando Mendoza just behind him from Indiana. Haynes King, I'm being told right now by Daniel Comer. I've never called him Daniel before. I'm just reading the screen. Sorry, Dan. It's plus 10,000.
That's wild.
Yeah, I think it's realistic.
I might have to get on FanDuel after this.
No, you shouldn't, because he's just not going to win it because people don't
think
care.
So?
If he wore a Gators jersey, then yeah. And you saw Marcel Reed on that list.
Yeah.
Gunnar Stockton on that list. Gunner's coming off of kind of and yeah, Haynes King is 11th best odds.
Wild.
Don't forget that Dan's a
500 total yards on Saturday night. Just trying to gut it out for his team.
But Jeremiah Love's interesting that he's not on that list. We'll see how it all plays out. But so I'm not saying that Julian doesn't deserve to win it. I'm just saying, like, let's also keep in perspective what other individuals are doing and their value to the team and where that team would be without them.
Gotcha.
That's the only thing. So I don't really care about the Heisman right now.
No.
And so because FanDuel just came out with these odds, and all of a sudden, I think that's going to be a lot of talk when you go watch other shows. Julian Sayin's odds-on favorite to win the Heisman. They're great. I'm not saying he shouldn't, but I'm also saying let's keep some perspective on the schedule they've played, the talents that is around him. Carnell Tate, you can make an argument in some years might deserve a look. Problem is he's got a top 5 NFL draft pick playing opposite him who's not eligible this year, who hasn't had like the production and the numbers to win a Heisman, but is the best player in college football, and I'll fight me on it. So, you know what I mean? So there's
a fun conversation, but yeah.
But I guess my point is, at this moment in time, I don't really care. I don't want us to be the show that's talking about Julian Sayin's the odds-on favorite for to win the Heisman. I want to tell you something that I saw on tape, and while I'm like all in on what Arch is doing, and I think it's amazing, and I'm relieved for him, because no human being should start their first year as a starter with that kind of external pressure on him. And so it's awesome that he's been able to weather that storm with Sark, with that supporting cast around him at Texas, with, I'm sure, the help of family members there and the first family in football with the Mannings. He's had a lot of people kind of, hey, stay the course, work the process. And so it's great to see the results start to come with that process. And I feel really good about Texas and its quarterback position. But Julian Sayin is playing at an even higher level. And I didn't know that we would I'm talking about he's getting to a point now where it's like, oh, this guy's a legitimate NFL draft prospect. And 2027 starting to shape up to be something that could be like, holy shit. If Arch keeps playing like this, if Julian Sayin keeps playing like this, if we've got other guys like Ty Simpson, Lenora Sellers coming back. I don't know if Mendoza's leaving after this year or not, but he can come back. John Mateer can come back. I mean, it may get gutted in 2026, Steve. We may have a draft that doesn't have as much as excitement as we thought it would coming in this year, with hopefully Klubnik takes the next step and Nussmeier takes the next step, and Dante Moore, might be the best pure passer of all these guys, but he needs another year. But you could have Julian Sayin, Arch Manning, Dante Moore, Lenora Sellers, John Mateer, Ty Simpson, all in that 2027 draft. And there's a few other names going to be in there too. So it's going to be not only for this season, but like when we get to January and we're getting ready for the Senior Bowl, that's going to be like, holy smokes, that January 15th date where prospects have to declare, are we in or are we going back to school? And with the NIL money that they're going to get to come back to school, right? That January, everyone else is going to be talking about the national championship, and we will be too. We'll be doing live shows after those playoff games and after the national championship game. That's going to be our focus. But we're going to have a firm eye on who's declaring and who's not, because it's going to dictate what's going on for the next few months leading up to the 2026 NFL draft in April. And then it could be setting us up for an unbelievable 2026 season in college football and a 27 draft when it comes to the quarterbacks. Like is maybe or even maybe as good or better than what we saw a couple years ago with 6 quarterbacks drafted in the top 12, starting with Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Michael Penix, JJ McCarthy, and then Bo Nix 12 to the Broncos. It could wind up being a better class than that.
I'm with you. And then you add in all the other talent that could be in that group. It's going to be.
Yeah, the wide receivers.
I get excited about every draft. I don't want to overlook what's going to happen in 2026, but you're right. 2027 could be different.
Mind blowing.